Hello and welcome. I'm Craig Harrington, and today's topic is America's economy. Former United States Senator Ernest Hollings has seen many of the bad decisions which drove this nation to the brink. In a globalized world, businesses have to constantly compete with everyone, everywhere, for everything. And American firms and companies are having a difficult time doing that. American businesses no longer hold the advantages they once did. Not when markets can be so easily manipulated and trade deals altered in such a way as to promote one group's interests above another. Success in international commerce used to be dictated by means of production, capital, labor, and resources, but it is now directed by government policy. Unfortunately, the United States refuses to enact policies which will allow this nation to compete. We rightly require our manufacturers to uphold high standards in health, safety, worker compensation, and environmental protection. But many other countries have no such restrictions. The biggest abuser is China. But instead of blocking Chinese shipments until they bring their industries up to our standards, the U.S. simply asks nicely, is ignored, and continues on status quo. Other countries close their markets to foreign goods. This is especially true in Japan, Korea, and much of Europe. But the United States seems to think that openness is the only operable policy. Our openness has allowed other countries to gut our industrial firms and buy out our wealth-producing assets. In the meantime, their own protection has kept the same from happening to them. Our pursuit of free trade has created millionaires at the top and left everyone else out. We cannot continue pursuing a policy which makes a very small group rich, while the rest lose their jobs to outsourcing and become subservient to foreign imports and creditors. If we do continue this policy, the entire economy will collapse like a house of cards. Free trade has taken away the protections that American corporations need to survive. The only reasonable way for them to remain in operation is to move jobs and production overseas, where resources are cheaper and regulations are lacking. The government has allowed this process to continue without involving itself. In its reckless pursuit of a hands-off economic plan, they have let our companies go overseas and let our workers go unemployed. The United States needs to protect its economy once again. Whether you call it protectionism, economic nationalism, or just good policy, the U.S. needs to return to a system which works for everyone. We cannot continue coddling the interests of those at the top while ignoring the other 99%. Free trade creates winners and losers, and the United States has more free trade losers than any other country in the world. It won't matter how many new financial and investment billionaires we create if there is not a stable job market for those without boundless fortunes. Congress has to reassert itself as a buffer to international trade. We need international trade if we are to grow as a nation. We cannot become isolated. But at the same time, we need, more than anything, to put policies in place which help the U.S. first and foremost. We need to spend on infrastructure, energy, industry, and education. We need a value-added tax to slow the flood of imports and bring money into the government. We need to stop spending beyond our means on an individual and governmental level. All of this will stabilize our situation and set a future plan for growth. Inaction will let the already horrendous slide continue unabated. On behalf of concerned citizens, I'm Craig Harrington. For more on this and other related topics, please log on to economyincrisis.org.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by economyincrisis.org.